RAJKUMARI inspects oxygen plants at Jenims, RIMS and COVID Care Center at Balbhavan, Kumalampak. Manipur reports a single-day spike of 146 new COVID-19 cases out of 1,088 test results. 5 deaths in 24 hours rises state death toll to 390. Night curfew being strictly imposed in Imphal city. Police slabs 1,000 rupees fines upon curfew violators. Police arrest defaulters who cannot pay fines. MPCC spokesperson KH Megachandra demands a white paper on Manirega funds granted by Centre for PRI members and job card holders. And India reports above 3,53,000 new COVID-19 cases and 2,812 deaths in 24 hours. Recovery rate drops to 82.62%. Kurumjari, good evening. You are watching Monday Primetime English Bulletin on Impact News. And I'm Victoria RAJKUMARI with you. Before we begin, Impact News would like to make an appeal to all our viewers to continue to maintain COVID-appropriate behavior as we are witnessing a massive surge in COVID-19 cases. Do wash your hands frequently, wear your face masks properly and maintain a safe distance while stepping outside from your homes or workplaces. Remember, we are still in the midst of the pandemic and these 3 simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. Now the top stories. Chief Minister Nongthawam Biren today inspected the medical oxygen manufacturing plant being constructed at Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Medical Sciences, Jenims, in Porompat. The plant will start operating from April 28. Advisor to Chief Minister Health Dr. Sapam Ranjan, Additional Chief Secretary M.H. Khan, Principal Secretary Health L. M. Vulnungmang and health officials accompanied the Chief Minister. N. Biren instructed the officials to maintain a cleanliness at a Jenims campus. From Jenims, the Chief Ministerial team headed for inspecting the COVID Care Center at Balbhavan in Kumalampak. The 250-bedded center will be used for treatment of female COVID-19 patients, while another COVID care center will be set up at Boys Hostel in Kumalampak for treatment of male patients. N. Biren also visited the Regional Institute of Medical Sciences Imphal and inspected its oxygen manufacturing plant. Speaking on the sidelines, the Chief Minister expressed disappointment that many people still neglect COVID-19 related standard operating procedures SOPs issued by the government despite the daily increase in COVID-19 active cases. Stating that the second wave of the pandemic is more dangerous, he appealed to the public to strictly adhere to COVID-19 SOPs and observe COVID-appropriate behaviors. Manipur reported 146 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 out of 1,088 test results received today. Infected persons are 141 from the general population and 5 are personnel of Central Armed Police Force. Newly infected persons from the general population are 70 from Imphal West, 42 from Imphal East, 11 from Ukhrul, 5 from Kokching, 4 each from Thoubal, Bishnupur and Kangpokpi district and 1 from Chandal district. All the necessary medical precautionary measures like containment and contact tracing are in place. As per State Health Department and COVID-19 Command Control Room press release at 5 p.m. today, cumulative COVID-19 confirmed cases in Manipur are 30,567, out of which 910 are active cases. 5 COVID patients died in the past 24 hours, rising the death toll to 390. The deceased persons are 2 from Imphal East District and 1 each from Churachandpur, Imphal West and Thobal District. On the positive note, 36 people were discharged in the last 24 hours, rising the total recovered cases to 29,267. State's recovery rate stands at 95.74%. So far, 130,979 have been administered COVID-19 vaccine shots in Manipur. In view of the surging COVID-19 cases in the state, Kaching MLA M. Rameshwar inaugurated a new 50-bedded COVID care center at ITI Kaching today. Speaking on the sidelines, MLA Rameshwar urged the public not to stigmatize patients undergoing home isolations but to extend necessary cooperation to them by adhering to COVID guidelines. He also assured of extending necessary help for the smooth operation of the center. Speaking on the occasion, CMO Kaching T. Manihar urged the government to extend aid so that the COVID care center can provide foods to its patients.
The hospital that Hambadazu afford Tawangam Masagi Yam Lyra Bakangusu effect over Masigi Lina City Lyra Vina Kunbati the Vanina, Agoina, Makoi Lyra Basingi, Lebam like Tabadu, Adu, Ketang, Makoi the Kudung Sabo, never hand out ITI, Touching Gizi, Hanga, Mafamsida, whatever is required, Akogi CMO, Akashing District, Sindiraga, Medical Facilities Testing Center, Pull up Piraga, the Gimukogi, Lady positive, or presencing Lainava, Akoi Deputy Commissioner, Madam Gatana, Adagi District SP Office. Required security period of Nasidagi, Mafamji, Handoksergani Haji, Prazagi, Mafam the Tamzari, Aina Tawuyava, in a Mating Pangbayava, Prazagi, Haiba Sumbayam, Satirava, COVID-19, Nasi, Tenganava, Aigi, Mafam the Tawanga, Kudimatoji.
Night curfew is being strictly imposed in Imphal City. Police has detained and issued fines of 1,000 rupees each to violators of night curfew, while those could not pay the fines were arrested. Night curfew has been imposed across Manipur to prevent a second wave of COVID-19 pandemic outbreak in view of the rising active cases of COVID-19. Imphal West District and Imphal East District SPs inspected parole the entire Imphal City to nab curfew violators last night at Uripok Canteen Crossing, Samumakong, Keshampat Junction, Chingamakong, Palace Compound, Pishum, Kurai Lamlong, Hata, Thangmaiban, Moirangkhom and other areas. A team of Imphal West District Commando OC Pia Choba and Imphal West District Police personnel also detained curfew violators near Kangla M sector and North AOC last night. Violators engaged in argument with the police personnel while slapping challans and fines. Speaking to media, police personnel warned of strict action against curfew violators. Police warned the public not to roam around unnecessarily at nights using the challan issued by police as a curfew pass. They further appealed to everyone to stay indoors and to come out of homes only when it is absolutely necessary and on emergency situations. Manipur Pradesh Congress Committee has demanded white paper of Manirega funds sanctioned by the centre. Speaking to media at Congress Bhavan today, MPCC spokesperson KH Megachandra asked why the government has failed to produce white paper on Manirega funds amounting 485 crore rupees sanctioned by centre on March 18 meant for Panchayati Raj institutions. He condemned the government's failure to release the wages of job card holders who had worked hard amid the coronavirus pandemic last year. Stating that as per centre's directives, wages of job card holders should be released within 3 days from the sanctioned date, he alleged the BJP-led state government of utilizing the same amount for other purposes. Megachandra opined that the failure to submit utilization certificates of the fund on time will hinder further release of Manirega funds by the centre. He also demanded action against Principal Secretary of Finance and Principal Secretary of Rural Development for failing to carry out a duty efficiently. The MPCC spokesperson urged the government to release benefited funds of Panchayati Raj institutions under the 15th Finance Commission and also to release their pending 17 months honorarium without further delay.
Misappropriation of funds la abanina central government ki guidelines si khangna rural area singi panchayati raj institution singi job card holder pandemic manung si da thabak wana sujaba mayam singi liability singdok tabase hairiba khangiba principal secretary ani accountant general ki mathakta hojiki lainga ga sina kari damak makhoi ki mathakta inquiry ama initiate tawroi dabano Panchayat ki area job card holder sing dabak misappropriation to fund masi la abanina ato pa thika gi thabak mayam contract works mayam adagi tongan ba infrastructure development different department water resources PWD so and so forth asuma mayam dadi kari gi ler moi haibagi question je la e
Tribal Health Center at Moljam village in Chandal district is unable to implement the National Free Diagnostic Scheme launched across hospitals in the state due to electricity and water shortages. Despite the availability of necessary laboratory equipments, the center is unable to provide 57 free medical tests to the villages due to shortage of water and electricity. The incident came to light when media persons along with Kuki Chief Association, Kengjoy Subdivision and KSO, Kengjoy Block inspected health facilities in remote villages provided under Tribal Affairs and Hills, Manipur. Speaking on the sidelines, a medical officer in charge of the health center, Dr. Thongam, highlighted the plights facing the patients as they have to go either to Myanmar or Imphal for mere medical tests. He said there are 3 nurses, 1 doctor, 1 lab technician, 1 driver and 1 chowkidar at the center, but no electricity to water supply. Dr. Thongam appealed to the government to extend necessary help at the earliest.
कोई मोचम केसी से ट्रैवल डेवलपमेंट की डिपार्टमेंट न पाई बनी कोई से स्टाफ हो से मी तरह लइए हिदाक पुदी डिपार्टमेंट न स्टाफ सो हिदाक सो डिपार्टमेंट न दुम फजन पीर ग लइए दुबु मई लइ तब मरुम होइना कोई लैब सो लैबोरेटरी द थबक तब यादन लइए अदुगा इसिंग सो थक दब इसिंग सिजिन दब इसिंग अदुम कोई यम वान लइए अदुगा नेटवर्क सिगा फोन फाउना बंगम दब कोट पतो बदा नेटवर्क अदुगा मई अदुगा इसिंग से गवर्नमेंट की तरफ तगिना सिखुन सिदसु नतगा सिखुन के एरिया दा मीटिंग चंगबिरगा medical department. Thank you.
Federation of Haumi has urged the state government to launch a special drive to identify foreigners who cannot speak Manipuri language, especially in Kangpokpi district, to expel them from Manipur. Speaking to media at Federation of Haumi office in Kabo Laikai today, Federation President Sapamcha Jadumani said Kuki community started settling in Manipur after 1844. He condemned the Kuki community for claiming several ancient sacred shrines of the state as their ancestors and for reporting to Union Home Minister that Federation of Haumi is an unlawful organization. Sapamcha Jadumani also condemned the state government's plan to declare only 4 acres area each of the Kobru and the Thangjing Hill ranges as heritage site, stating that it is not adequate to cover all the sacred sites in the hill ranges. He urged the state government to include all the ancient sites while declaring them as heritage sites. Sapamcha Jadumani further demanded removal of all the designated camps of proscribed outfits under suspension of operation and illegal armed related activities at the Mount Kobru without further delay.
Bubude tariba view singse mase kay amno foreigner yabuge habadu manibugam ne check togidawni ngarang nahan lilongda akhoi bangladeshi mayama lotana rambragi phabado jamina manibugam embo appreciate tawi buji kobruda khunda saliba amasung kobugi area nakanda laibasing ꯃꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯄꯥꯏꯔꯤꯕ ꯈꯨꯠꯂꯥꯏꯁꯤꯡ ꯒꯚꯔꯟꯃꯦꯟꯠꯒꯤ ꯑꯣꯊꯣꯔꯥꯏꯖ ꯅꯠꯇꯕꯗ ꯀꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯈꯨꯠꯂꯥꯏ ꯄꯥꯏꯔꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯑꯣꯊꯣꯔꯥꯏꯖ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯈꯨꯠꯂꯥꯏꯅ ꯀꯌꯥꯝ ꯂꯩꯔꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯣ ꯃꯗꯨ ꯆꯦꯛ ꯇꯧꯕꯤꯒꯗꯕꯅꯤ
Gazetteer of Manipur sida 1881-82 sida Kuki gi village se in the whole of Manipur makhoi se 18 250 1948 te leram baduna how uji 4000 ore bisri karai dei lai
7 illegal migrants were found enlisted in the electoral roll of Sabungkhong 8/25 polling station of Lamlai Assembly constituency. Lamlai Mapari Thogallob has condemned such error and urged the relevant authorities to take necessary action at the earliest. Speaking to media at Manipur Press Club today, Secretary of the Association, L. Bobisana, said there is no history of settlement of Nepalese in Lamlai constituency. He said JCLPS has also been apprised about the matter.
Nepal gi mi ite voter list ming chalamba si yamna laibak thiwa famni momang takta askuiba arama kayama leramna basu nowna lakadaba singda didi askuiba arama tobu yaroi aramba sab kudima lamlai mapai tagolumna kumna thidominarga sumthumina bohna gani maramaduna tungda lamlai da yelowi ga mailina ba wafam singda mateng panglamba amadi voter list ming channa bohna kudimangna gyan tabiduna yelowi singmarda nan manipuri mayama changlatuna khundasna bohna pasi thingna ba kan Kongjang Changshin Badarka ore Lamlai Kendi Aiba 25 polling the Kundaduna voter list Saliba Nepali Singasi Marilina CEO Amadi Velo Kudimanga Tanaraga voter list Kaktapiu Amadi Tasing Tasingba Asumba electoral Lama Hongbiduna Lamlai Kendi Asumba Puarima Shem no Honamada Kwai Kudimana Fauna Panamating Pamu.
Employees of State Agriculture Department today carried out protest demonstrations against appointment of non-professional as director of the department. They even warned of going on pen-down strike and mass casual leave if the government failed to consider the interest. It may be mentioned that the state government issued an order on April 20th appointing KH Lalmani, MCS, a non-tactical officer as director of State Agriculture Department. Members of All Manipur Agriculture Department, Employees Welfare Organization, All Manipur Technologists Association and All Manipur Horticulture Technologists Association stays a sit-in at Agriculture Department head office in Sanjanthong since 11 a.m. today. A team of Porampad Police Station followed the protest by around 1 p.m. Taking part in the protest, General Secretary of All Manipur Agriculture Department Employment Welfare Organization, Loitongbam Sanatomba, asserted that Agriculture Department is a tactical department, hence its director should possess a technical nose. He condemned that the state government has repeated such mistakes time and again. Sanatomba said the employees held an emergency meeting after which they submitted a memorandum to State Chief Minister against the order. However, due to lack of any response, they resorted to carrying out the democratic protest today.
Agriculture Department no labor Agriculture Department ki no how khang ba technical idea laiba kangbu singsina ohining badagi Agriculture Department thabak toiba koi punamagna hariba sumba action ase sanghanjar pani akoina government ta hariba state da democratic way da akoina changjal liba session protest ta hujari mathang danga si session protest se koi tang kuntaruk tena kuntare pok tok jagani kunipan de na kuntra bok sina koina black base thelaga koi walk tawani tang amadagina tang ahum bauna koi pen down tawni pen down gi mathang dagi koi na mathang lokot pa yaba koi gi mass casual leave ama mayam ama koi sanction gi haibagi achit pa phire pa makaloina na koi Agriculture Department punamaki wakhalon da suman lerga ngasi gi session protest pangthok jam.
Agriculture Department employees also staged a protest meet at Imphal East District Agriculture Office in Porompat today. Protesters demanded government to revoke its order appointing an MCS officer as Agriculture Director and instead to appoint a senior officer with a tactical know-how for the post. Employees of a district agriculture office at Toibong in Churachandpur have also launched a 2-day strike against appointment of a non-tactical officer to be Director of Agriculture Department. DAO Churachandpur M. Zinzalian led the protest along with other 15 staffs with strict adherence of COVID-19 SOPs under All Manipur Agriculture Employees Welfare Organization this morning. Spokesperson of the DAO Churachandpur, Steve Lystrom, warned of intense hesitation if the government failed to consider the interests. In a historic move today, State Directorate of Environment and Climate Change started planting indigenous and rare Kombire flower at Yaralpat. The flower is associated with Meitei communities' religious rites and rituals since the ancient times. The initiative was taken under National Plan for Conservation of Aquatic Ecosystem and Climate Change Adaptation Approach, Government of India. The Directorate, in association with Manipur Initiative for Conservation of Nature, in short MICON, and Yaralpat Integrated Farming Cooperative Society Limited, planted around 500 saplings of Kombire on a trial basis for the first phase. CSIR Senior Principal Scientist Dr. RAJKUMARI is taking a lead in conserving the rare flower by carrying out soil testing and ensuring a conducive environment for the flower to thrive. Speaking to Impact News, Dr. RAJKUMARI said that the Kombire flower growing in residential areas in the state is not the original indigenous variety which once thrived at Yaralpat and Lamphalpat. He said that the flower variety was found in some wetlands of the state recently, upon which in-depth research was carried out with an aim to preserve the rare variety of the flower which is not found in any other parts of India. Dr. RAJKUMARI added that though Kombire is also found in countries like China, Japan and Siberia, there are differences in the features and subspecies of the flower. Hence, Manipur's variety is a unique one.
Ecology se yamna unique oi bhai tare lekang amada na tragana any kenoma da heta thaba yadam loktak part na tragana koi some small part kharagi area khara natna Manipur Kombire se valley gi area da di hogdre karim ta hogdre adu mapanik busaleba koi gi Kombire ayam badi koi gi lekang da tharaga su mapan sali fazna hobungame adu Manipur gi asengba Kombire di pathi komti natraga di maje hobungam da bhai tare bharat ki manung da ngasi bawda kanam ta hobugi record leitebo Manipur khaktane bu hori adu world ya top mafam khara da hori koi gi Manipur gi Kombire ji iris levicata se Japan da natragana China da natragana Siberia da hogjar su wagi species ki level da manager su sub species ki natragana variety level khenar ba yai madu koi makata ba initiative ami makada koi to buya bagi lambi thi si haina koi jikana khanajari Manipur da hori ba portsina Japan da natragana koi gi China da hori ba sigi tongan bo ormagadi koi Manipuri Kombire ji world gi muk chiroleli na lebedong na ko Kombire ji gi my uniqueness ama muk tholkane
Kombire heba legendary flower si akoi maming da ngai heuba photography da la isai da nomai da le heuba aduga masigi asengba magi satpham hobham boriba yaral patadi mami bawole hodaba masigi nungangba nungaitaba si akona khalluraga kam haina Kombire si kadai waida Manipur gi jaga da leirige na koina koiti thijaraga amuhana Kombire se yaral pat ki soil state da amuhana hawanna hanagi traditional glory du phangmada yagadra haibasi akon honajabani.
The initiative taken today will help in conserving wetlands and indigenous flora and fauna of our states. This move will definitely help in conserving Yaralpat and its Kombire. With camera person El Kabi, this is Katrimayum Premsan reporting for Impact News, Yaralpat, Imphal East.
Rashtriya Panchayat Purushkar 2021 awardees were felicitated today. Rural Development and Panchayati Raj organized the event at SIRD Complex Conference Hall in Porompat. RD and PR Deputy Director Khetri Mayum Umananda handed over the awards, certificates and mementos to the winners declared during the Rashtriya Panchayati Raj Divas celebrated in New Delhi on April 24th. Adakshiya of Imphal West Jilla Parishad R.K. Taruni bagged Din Dayal Upadhyaya Panchayat Shakti Karam Award. Kaino Gram Panchayat Pradhan N.G. Sovana bagged Din Dayal Upadhyaya Panchayat Shakti Karam Purushkar Revenue Generation and Child Friendly Gram Panchayat Award. Mayang Langjing Gram Panchayat Pradhan U. Narjit bagged Nanaji Deshmukh Rashtriya Gaurav Gram Sabha Purushkar. Top Dushra Gram Panchayat Pradhan M. Surbala bagged Din Dayal Upadhyaya Panchayat Shakti Karam Purushkar Thematic Category National Resource Management Award and Luang Sangbam Gram Panchayat Pradhan S. Ango bagged Pandit Din Dayal Upadhyaya Panchayat Shakti Karam Purushkar. Speaking on the occasion, Deputy Director Khetri Mayum Umananda applauded the awardees on their success and expressed pride that the same has brought glory to the state. He said, Rashtriya Panchayati Raj Divas 2021 was celebrated on a virtual format owing to COVID-19 pandemic. He said the awards include cash awards which have been transferred to the bank accounts of the awards via direct benefit transfer. The Deputy Director expressed hope that Panchayati Raj institutions will tell more welfare initiatives and bring laurels for the state.
National Panchayat Raj Day gi Mr. Khogi all over India gi Prime Minister na live telecast tor ga pangthokhiba National Panchayat Raj Day gi mari lena na khogi award chu khoi national gi oina category makhan mari amana ZP gi category amaga GP amaga na pungadaba all over India gi 74,000 na chigi awards ki application oi thari all India gi oina 312 awards na si khoi all India gi oina receive tawi khogi awards sing se khoi Manipur gi oina yamna lemjani ngai sigi numit sida covid ki tang chai na baga leibaga ngasi se khoi na ngasi se program oina pangthok sabani
Masi Prime Minister na adagi khoigi innovative development khoi yam sakhot po porok na ba khoi hene na encourage bibi do na khoi toriba thaba khoigi achievement khoi 14 jila parisat ki aidana nataba khoi mayam cooperation pinner ga tawba thabak singa sida yam phajana tawbu uba khangba dagi sinma khoi mathang so khoigi sakhot po porok na ba innovative oi ba development se porok na ba award sing se bibi rakpani kai tawba ya dagi haido khalaga karamba khoi sothau ba jaga da kari kari tawga dagi haina khoi jila parisat tara mani khana duna si thabak se khoi dum hena phajana mong da pangthok sagani adu mathang so khoi phang
And it's time for a small commercial break. After the break, we bring you news and updates on coronavirus cases in India and the world. We'll be back with the details after the break. Keep watching Impact News.
Office of the Yaifre Group of Finance, Head Office Singmairong near Eastern Motor, Imphal East, May Taramanga English Singani Kunmatoi, Tha Amada Lupa Singmarika Kulaga, Hausagadoriba, Lottery cum tender Siaubiraga, Lupa Lak Kungimapu Oibiu, Lucky Draw Fauragana, Lupa Lak Amafang Bigani, Loinana, Atoba Matamda, Ezen Yankai Supamzay, Ezen Singidamak monthly income, draw timing and Nutugipung Anini.
Welcome back. You're watching Monday Primetime English Bulletin on Impact News. New COVID-19 cases are rising daily in India at an alarming rate. Country reported 352,991 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours. India's COVID tally stands at 1,73,13,163. As per the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, there are 28,13,163 active cases in India and death toll stands at 1,95,123 with the addition of 2,812 new COVID deaths. On the post of note, 2,19,272 recoveries were reported in the last 24 hours, rising the total recovered cases to 1,43,04,382. India's recovery rate has further declined to 82.62%. Maharashtra has the highest active coronavirus cases of above 7 lakh. Globally, coronavirus has infected above 14,78,86,000 people. Above 31,24,000 people have died, and recoveries are above 12,54,58,000. USA ranks highest with over 68,58,000 active cases, followed by India and Brazil. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has ordered setting up of 551 oxygen plants inside government hospitals across the country. PM Cares Fund will provide financial aid in setting up these plants. Modi also ordered the concerned authorities to make these plants functional as soon as possible. Prime Minister's office said, in line with Narendra Modi's direction to boost availability of oxygen to hospitals, PM Cares Fund has approved allocation of funds for the installation of 551 dedicated pressure swing absorption PSA medical oxygen generation plants inside public health facilities. The PMO said these plants will be established in identified government hospitals in district headquarters in various states and union territories. It added that such an in-house captive oxygen generation facility will address the day-to-day medical oxygen needs of these hospitals and the district. Centre has directed states and union territories to ensure that liquid oxygen is exclusively used for medical purposes only. The exception to 9 industries has also withdrawn in order to enhance availability of medical oxygen in the country. Union Home Secretary and Chairman National Executive Committee Ajay Bhala has written to Chief Secretaries of States and Administrators of Union Territories in this regard. He has asked all manufacturing units to maximize their production of liquid oxygen and make it available to the government for the use for medical purposes only, with immediate effect until further orders. All stocks of liquid oxygen should also be made available to the government for use of medical purposes. Ajay Bhala said no exception is allowed to any industry with regard to use of liquid oxygen. "318 oxygen concentrators arrived at Delhi airport from the United States today. The Air India flight was loaded at JFK airport yesterday. The US government has also decided to lift export ban on essential raw materials required by vaccine manufacturer in India for production of COVID-19 vaccine. This development comes after National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and his US counterpart Jake Sullivan had a phone conversation regarding the spike in COVID-19 infections across the country. Sullivan affirmed America's solidarity with India. This also comes after several US lawmakers voiced their concerns over the COVID-19 situation in India. A couple of days earlier, defending US restrictions on the export of the raw material, a senior State Department official has said the Biden administration's first obligation is to take care of the requirements of the American people. Members of Mayai Lambi College Student Union have warned of intense agitation if authorities concerned fail to appoint a principal of the college as per UGC rules and regulations latest by May 10th. Speaking to media at Manipur Press Club today, Union General Secretary Mayang Mayum Abid Hussain said the present principal in charge of the college has been holding the post for the past 7 years. She expressed disappointment that the present principal in charge has failed to take welfare activities for the college.
Regular principal amana interview phamaga oibada sahi manga dagi hen oiba yade, but in charge oiba college principal singna sahi tarit nipan mapan retire tawdri fau paiba maramna college asi yontho amga dawre maram aduna athuba matamda college principal asi sintokpio matik saba principal thabiro haina mari leirama authority singi punging sinjari masida maintenance amadi development na singbagi kakliba fee sing asi student union na so season nakhiba leite masi oza mayam ga lautuna raga saduna leire maram aduna matung tarak pada college ki maintenance amasung development gi ne haina haiduna thamliba mayam asi mathang sahidagi piba ngamjararoi maram asina athuba matamda matik saba principal thabiro haina mari leinaba authority singi mafamda noluksari.
Ex-Naria Pakanglakpa MLA Soibam Subhash Chandra launched a free online education system for students of class 1 to 10 of the constituency today. The online education system launched under the initiative of ex-MLA to benefit students amid closure of schools due to coronavirus pandemic will be operated along with e-school Manipur. Speaking at the event held at Ningombal Mayai Laikai community, ex-MLA Soibam Subhash Chandra claimed that he had initiated various activities to enhance education sector in the constituency during his tenure as a local MLA. He said various government schools were upgraded and many students were enrolled. CEO of e-school Manipur, Rajesh Sanasam, attended the event. Enrollment forms were handed out for interest students to relevant authorities of various schools on the occasion. Intending candidate of Kedragao Assembly constituency, Lamyanba Ipu Kumanthem will felicitate 33 eminent people who have contributed in promoting the state's indigenous culture and tradition. Speaking to media at his residence in Top Awang Laikai, Pongalambi today, Lamyanba Ipu said Manipur is known worldwide for its culture, tradition, dance, folklore and sports potential. He said eminent women contributor in promoting the state's culture will be accorded the title of Kanglei Hentoi Laima Imom, and a male contributor will be conferred Kanglei Mapari Athoiba title. He said the event will be held next month by strictly adhering to COVID-19 related SOPs.
Sanabagi lamda, adagi hoi mayaki lamda, tangtagi lamda, pisabagi lamda, Matay hidak shabagi lamda, adagi Matagi kusu tang sabagi lamda, adwari libagi lamda, adagi kabar pongbagi lamda, Smana Toiba, singer Sam, Sakang Bagini, Mako singer Sibu, Apoy Mapu Mana, Kanglei, Hentoi, Lema, Imo, my naming told Piba, Ado Pari, Washington, Kanglei, Mapari, Atoiba, naming told Pidana, Nundambi, Kodo, Pibi Sintane, Pangado. Idogi Memon Toma Hitare. Adagi certificate ama lengan piyama aduga idogi hogi kulang la manai tare hoi tare ke sanga bari pige.
A house was reduced to ashes at Awungtang village in Ukhrul district around 6:30 p.m. yesterday. 3 fire tender of Ukhrul Fire Service along with personnel of 6 Manipur rifles tried their best to douse the fire but could not save the house. The 6 Assam rifles also provided refuel tank to assist as Ukhrul Fire Service Department does not own any one at present. Ukhrul DC Joseph Paulin Kamsan also inspected the site. Impact News sources said owner of the house, Otkotia, sustained 30% burnt injuries and is being hospitalized at Ukhrul District Hospital. It may be mentioned that Otkotia is the current vice principal of Ellis Christian Higher Secondary School. Source of the fire is yet to be ascertained till the time of filing this report. United Progressive Association Andhra Kendra Upag has alleged misappropriation of a right quota for beneficiaries of Andhra Assembly constituency for the month of February. Speaking to media at the association office in Yaripok, Yambim today, Association President Mohammed Pakharuddin said the incident came to light upon approaching Imphal East DSO, who told them that rice for February month 2021 has been already withdrawn. He appealed to the relevant authorities to probe the matter at the earliest.
Karigino hana marilena bo tejin chotna tang karuga DSO khali sunare mon hang mutam di seng di pigre kana kana logi comment to hang mutam da nomini haiba masama sana bone fresh to ko kang bo gi kang gi da pigre haina lai ko marilena bo tejin singa daga sarore di sida Yesoda, Mandunga Sita, Pung Tang to have in the Singapore and take Salabu and Mazana. Man can be saying, but I'm going to be singing and say, PB the regular live tang. Tang home Tama, Paul, the PB the regular. So I can't become to sell any other Sinam, but I put her singing,
Iramdam Kanba Apunba Lob and Social Upliftment Organization jointly organized Sajibu Kudol Tamba Igi Kongon Liba at Community Hall near Sanamahi Kiong at Seloi Langmai Hills today. Amju former President Wang Khemcha Samjai, advisor of Tangkul Naga Foothills Organization Kasum Tenisan, Vice President R.V. Son Jimig, Secretary of Nikhil Bishnupriya Manipur Mahasabha Central Committee, Bukrambam Singomani and Ikal members attended the event. Sajibu gifts were exchanged between brothers and sisters of hills and valley on the occasion. Speaking to media, he called Secretary Wahingbam Luanglai Masatda. The event aimed to highlight the cordial relation between hills and valley people.
Lamdam sida lairiba mapandagi lakpa diridagi diribamdagi siljadagi aduga atoppa ching tamda lairiba chingche khoi amatani haibagi apunba pangalama sagananaba lamdam chigi nupi oibi singna mabung mokpa singda chahi gi wena mamangai gi paipu singna chatnaramba thauramni ekhoina makhoida khudol pot ama tamjaraga khoida makhoina chakobada khoida tambiba ekhoina ngasi chairau bachida lining tholai bida katpada ekhoina chu mabung mokpa singda machal mache sing oiba ekhoina tamjaba khudol potuna setpira kanda degi ngak tayan biraga tawjaba dang duai ekoi lamdam sigi chakhatpa nungaiba tungi mirol kayada achumba sengba lambi ma puraknaba honabada adugi thodang du logjabani afaba achumba lambi da chatpangam janabagi lambi du ibungi pasingdagi thongni jabani.
130th Arapti Day was observed at Sri Sri Gokulananda Mandap in Keshamthong Top Lerak today. Keshamthong Radhesham Naam Pala organized a memorial event. It may be mentioned that Arapti Day is observed every year in commemoration of the day the last rites of Pauna Brajabasi, who died in the Anglo-Manipur War of 1891 at Kongjom. The martyr's body had to be laid to rest at Lilong Arapti in Khaibam Hidden, as the body was not in a condition to be taken to his birthplace after the long journey across the Funan hill range. Now the sports news. Spanish tennis legend Rafael Nadal has landed another accolade in his bag after winning the 68th Barcelona Open ATP Tour 500 Series tournament 2021. Spain hosted the tournament at the clay court of Real Club de Tennis Barcelona from April 19 to 25th. In men's singles final, Rafael Nadal defeated Stefanos Tsitsipas of Greece in a 3-set thriller by 6-4, 6-7, 6-7-5 on Sunday. In the first semi-final of the tournament, Rafael Nadal had defeated Spanish player Pablo Busta by 6-3, 6-2, and in the second semi-final, Stefanos Tsitsipas had defeated Italy's Jannik Sinner by 6-3, 6-3 to enter the final match. While in the tournament's men's doubles, Colombia's duo Sebastian Cabal and Robert Farah defeated Germany, Romania duo Kevin Kay and Horia Teko by 6-4, 6-2. H. Sulanjoy will serve as president of Imphal East District Football Association once again. Two persons filed a nomination for president, of which one was rejected during yesterday's scrutiny. Hence, H. Sulanjoy was reappointed as president. Press release from the returning officer of District Football Association, El Irabant, said that 7 individuals will contest for 4 posts of vice presidents, 2 for 1 post of treasurer, and 15 individuals for 10 executive council member posts in the annual general body meeting of DFA to be held at the office of 11 Star Sporting Union, Akampat on May 1st. Italy's Matteo Berrettini has bagged the championship title of 5th Men's Serbia Open ATP 250 tennis tournament. The tournament was held at the clay court of Novak Tennis Center in Belgrade from April 19 to 25th. In men's single final, Italy's Matteo Berrettini defeated Russia's Aslam Karatsev by 6-1, 3-6 and 7-6, 7-0 points. In its first semi-final of the tournament, Russia's Aslam Karatsev drugged Serbia's Novak Djokovic by 7-5, 4-6 and 6-4 points. While in the second semi-final, Italy's Matteo Berrettini defeated Japan's Taro Daniel by 6-1, 6-7, 5-7 and 6-0 point. In the men's doubles final, Croatia's Ivan Savanov and Matej Savanov beat Uruguay and Ecuador's Ariel Behar and Gonzalo Escobar by 6-3, 7-6, 7-5 points. First Women's Serbia Open ATP 250 tennis tournament will be held on May 17 to 23rd. And before we wrap up, let's take a quick look at the headlines once again. Chief Minister Nongthom Ambiren inspects oxygen plants at Jenims, RIMS and COVID Care Center at Bal Bhavan, Kumanlampak. Manipur reports a single-day spike of 146 new COVID-19 cases out of 1,088 test results. 5 deaths in 24 hours rises state death toll to 390. Night curfew being strictly imposed in Imphal city. Police slaps 1,000 rupees fines upon curfew violators. Police arrest defaulters who cannot pay fines. MPCC spokesperson Kesh Megachandra demands white paper of Manirega funds granted by Centre for PRI members and job card holders. And India reports above 3,53,000 new COVID-19 cases and 2,812 deaths in 24 hours. Recovery rate drops to 82.62%. That's all we have for today. Thanks for being with us. Coming up next is Primetime Manipur Bulletin. For more news of this, you can also follow Impact TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. Until then, good night and stay safe.
Happy Mahavir Jayanti. My best wishes to all the